police-state fears.
We could see potentially a reoccurrence of race riots as we saw a few years ago.
How would you feel if you were walking down the street, minding your own business, but were stopped by the police, asked for your identity and what you were doing? Well, under government plans, that could soon be a reality, and some think it will cause problems here in Manchester.
The worst case scenario is that when young ethnic minorities and young people realise that the police can arrest them in such a way, and they see that the police is demonising them and victimising them, we could see potentially a reoccurrence of race riots as we saw a few years ago. I hope that doesn't happen, but you know, we are worried that by the government proposing these legislation that's what may happen.
If the police think you're up to no good and want to question you, at the moment they've got to bring you down here to the Nick. But it's now emerged the government wants to give police new powers to stop and question anyone, anywhere in the country. And if you refuse to cooperate, you could be fined £5,000. At the moment, officers can stop and search anyone as long as there's reasonable grounds for suspicion, and they can't ask you your identity or where you're going. Under the new laws, all that could change.
Well, no, I think that's a bit wrong. Because people have their own rights not to answer questions, but I think they are allowed, but that's just pathetic that they have to pay that much.
I think in some ways it's a pretty good thing. I think that you know, it'll just give people more security, more of a sense of security, and it'll just, you know, make people think things are being done.
Everyone's got their own rights to do what they want to do, haven't they, at the end of the day, and it could be something really minimal to me, but it might be a big thing to the police.
So you think it's a good thing?
No, I don't think it's a good thing.
If you're not doing anything suspect, then, you know, you're perfectly, if you're just going to get it, you know, if someone asks you the question, you're just going to answer it honestly, aren't you? So
if you're just walking out the street and the police stopped and asked you some questions, you'd be happy with that?
Yeah, perfectly happy, yeah, as long as, you know, it's basically doing his job, just checking up, making sure everyone's doing everything within the law, I suppose. So yeah, I think that's fair enough.
But there are some people who are concerned about the proposed new measures.
I think everybody's concerned that we want to tackle the issue of terrorism, and it's a concern that is shared by everybody in this country. But the reality is somewhat different. What we have to do is we've got to ensure that we take the Muslim community with you when you're tackling that issue. What it will do, it will create a demonisation, and it will create alienation amongst the Muslim community.
Those who support the new powers say they'll strengthen existing measures where they fall short. Critics say it's just another step towards creating a police state. This isn't the first time these powers have been used. They operate in Northern Ireland, and they were also used in Britain during the war. But it's also not the first time the government's faced opposition to a controversial anti-terror measure. Ben Bland, Channel M News.